Here's John Lyon.
Thank you, Gary. Coach, listen, I know it's not the breakthrough you're talking about. That's coming later, but you got to start somewhere. What a display of just pure persistence.
Well, it's been the theme since we got here, just to persevere, just keep fighting, stay in the fight, keep throwing punches, keep believing, and just focus on what we do and our jobs, and we are going to break through, and this is the first step.
You know, Coach, at halftime you told me you had met the enemy. It is us. There were some self-inflicted wounds in that first half. I'm not sure you guys had a penalty in the second half. You may have, but I mean, you really cleaned things up, and the kids really executed after halftime.
Well, that's what it is. You know, when you execute the plays, you drive down the field and you score. If you don't, you're punting. All right, it's as simple as that. So the way you regain momentum is you execute, and really did. The guys just kept fighting. The defense played great. It did a real solid job on special teams, and you know, we came back. All right, it's a testament to our coaches and testament to our team to be down 10 and to come back and win.
Coach, one more thing before you get in the locker room. You know, you always talk about team first, and our player of the game could have gone to so many different people. Full disclosure, I voted for this guy. That catch on the sideline was something else. You kept feeding him the ball. The offensive line got energized when he got the football. So many contributions from so many players.
Well, it's great. We are playing a lot of guys and a lot of guys with not a lot of experience, and they just do it with great fight, great determination, great perseverance. They didn't blink, and they just kept fighting, and really proud of the group.
And Mike Joseph did just mention to me about the injuries. I mean, the first 5 sideline reports I had were about guys that got dinged up. So in spite of that adversity, the kids came through.
Yeah, well, I just kept asking, who do we have left to put in, and who's playing this position? All right, so they kept me well informed, and we had 11 out there every time, so at least it was a fair fight.
Outstanding. Coach, congratulations, and good luck next week. Another big one. You got it. You got it.
Atta baby. Atta baby, kid. That's the way to go.
Jaden, you and I had a chance to talk briefly at the media luncheon, and I got to tell you, take us through the catch on the sideline. Did you know where you were? How can you just process all that stuff? That was a game changer.
Well, I knew when he scrambled to my side that I had to come back to the ball, but I wasn't really paying attention to the sideline. I just knew. I had a feeling where I needed to be, and I was just there at the right time.
Talk a little bit about your offensive line, because when there was a sea change about midway through the third quarter, things started clicking. You didn't get a lot of touches in that first half. In the second half, they went to you fresh legs. You really responded well. Your offensive line did a great job for you as well.
Yes, sir. They did. They did. They had a great day.
Well,
that's all I can say about it.
Talk a little bit about what you think. You guys have been working and working and working in spite of not a whole lot of success. Talk a little bit about the mentality of the team and what this win means to you guys as a group.
Well, it's all just everybody just has to have a 1-2 attitude. And if everybody does their 111, then we'll win.
Well, you sure did tonight, Jaden. Congratulations on a great win. This place was electric. Good luck next week. You got it. Gary, Michael, a happy Fisher Field down here. Back to you guys.
And we will, of course, get back to you in just a moment. Jaden Sutton out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, 52 yards on 12 carries in this ball game. Let's take a look at some of the highlights as the Lafayette Leopards this time have some big ones. Here's Mike.
Yeah, we'll start off with Bucknell here, and Bitcoffer had it going here. Again, Brandon Sanders played a great game. I saw him walk off the field at the end of the game, very despondent. He's the guy who fumbled the ball, gave Lafayette the chance to get back in the game, but Brandon Sanders was, as advertised, just so good. Look at him here, 2 touchdowns in that first half, gave him that 14-7 lead. And Shoemaker, they had some designed runs for him today. It wasn't all scrambles. That's the touchdown. So 14-7 at the half. Bucknell came right back. Dominic Lyles, who got hurt late in the game, ended up with 5 catches for over 75 yards here. Bitcoffer, good protection. He's going to hit Lyles again down the middle of the field. You know, Lafayette did change corners at that point. Again, here's an extra field goal that made it 17-7. So Lafayette's still there, but nothing happening for the Leopards here. An interception by Montbrand. He was terrific, Montbrand, in this game. Bunch of tackles, an interception. Looked like the game was put away, but Lafayette came back. And a guy like Nick Pearson, when you have that guy, you have touchdowns in your pocket. Big play there by Marco Olivas and Keith Earl. Nice job jumping on the ball by the senior. They start the drive off with a reverse to Pearson, and then they went to a little bit of scramble action here. Again, use your legs, pick up the first down. That was a 3rd down and 4, and then they went to the running game, as John Lyon alluded to here. A guy like Jaden Sutton, who's finding his way. And Jaden Sutton, Selwyn Simpson, two big, strong. If you haven't been close to these guys, they are big and they are strong. Look at those moves, that balance. This kid's finally healthy, and down the stretch, he did it last year against Bucknell and Fordham. Look at that big sack there by Malik Cam. When you need him, look at how excited he is. That's a big win for Lafayette. I haven't often seen Lafayette come back 14-0 in the fourth quarter. They put it away, and when we thought waved the right flag, Lafayette can't do it. Bucknell, I thought Lafayette couldn't do it either. They put it up and they won the ball game.
So you're coming back next week?
I'll be back.
All right, Mike will be here for the 12:30 kickoff. 21-17 Leopards. Let's send it down to John and Phil to wrap it all up. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gary. And yeah, you'll be back, and so will your voice. I've never heard you so excited. You've been doing this for 150 years. Michael, good call by you. It was a lot of fun. You know, it was really such a roller coaster ride on the sideline. I mean, this everybody was dead in the water, and then to kind of literally throw cold water on the whole place. Half the stadium left. It got damp. It got chilly, and Lafayette wasn't doing anything, and all of a sudden, the switch got flipped.
Yep, absolutely, and we finally had both units playing well at the same time. Offense came up big with 2 scores. Defense came up big with the big turnover, and came through with a big win.
I will not apologize for my vote for Jaden Sutton as the Coca-Cola player of the game, but having said that, as we went through the highlights just a moment ago, so many players, Selwyn Simpson, Keith Earl, you saw Mark Olivis
coming up with
just coming up with play after play, fumble recoveries, forced fumbles, big stops on third down. It was the whole deal today, Philip.
Yeah, I'll go out and mention the offensive line as well.
Absolutely.
You know, I thought something really neat to see, and it's something where you have some confidence, is when we ran a couple of those big runs, inside, got 7 or 8 yards. You see the offensive line turn into the sideline and saying, "Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
You could feel it.
Got it. I got my man."
The body language it was clear, and the atmosphere was palpable. Now let's come back down to earth here. Listen, every Patriot League game this year is going to be like this. But having said that, and still Lafayette comes in. They're 1-7. They're 1-1 in the league. Everything is still in front of them. They needed this game. They're going to need next week's game. But Phil, it's so difficult as a coach and as an athlete to keep picking yourself up. It's cliche. Pick yourself up, pick yourself up. Nothing grows in the darkness. It's got to be so difficult to keep doing that. Talk about what it means to these kids, these coaching staff in that locker room to get this win.
Well, it's huge, obviously. And while it's big for everyone, I think it's even bigger for the freshmen. You see these guys, freshmen who have been playing, big contributors. Most of these guys aren't, they come from big programs. They're not used to losing. And so to get this win under their belts is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the questions that I had for Coach Garrett afterwards, you didn't hear it, Phil, but Mike Joseph got in my earpiece and he just said, ask him about the injuries. And John, in a moment of levity, he just said, he was asking his assistant coaches, who do we have? Who's back there?
Right.
And so despite the adversity with injuries, I mean, Eric Mitchell, your key corner, goes out. Harrison Greenhill went out. They missed his presence in the inside, and yet they persevered and they got it done.
Absolutely. Like we said, both units got it done when it counted, and that's what you need, and that's what this team needs. And obviously from here on out, as we talk about moving through the Patriot League, for this team, it's a game at a time.
Absolutely, one game at a time. And speaking of that, we will be back here again next week as Lafayette will host Colgate, a Colgate team that is really struggling right now, Phil. That's a surprise.
Unbelievable to see them come off a year like last year and then just seemingly laying an egg this year.
Absolutely, they're going to come in again, ready to play for sure. It's a very proud program. They're used to beating Lafayette, but it's a great opportunity that lies ahead for the Leopards. We'll be here, Gary, and Michael will be here. I'll be here with Phil.